What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Thumb Tacos. Today we're going over some filters for your audio to make you sound a lot prettier. We're going to go over a little bit of green screen tech and then some audio settings. This is an OBS tutorial, so you're going to see screen capture. There's going to be a lot of crazy things going on screen, so you'll have to visually see this. This isn't going to be one that you can just listen to, but I hope you find this helpful, and let's get into it. All right, guys, I want everyone to just kind of ignore the endless loop right here. Whenever you screen capture your source here, when you do a full screen, you're always going to get this endless recording of recordings. So just ignore the center part here. What we're looking at is down here on your audio mixer. Now, if you're on slobs, it'll be something very similar. What we're looking for is the cogwheels are to the right of your sources here. So this is mixer. This is my microphone. I have an external mixer that runs into my OBS program. So if I right-click on the cogwheel, I can get to my filters. Now, I talk about filters all the time while I'm streaming or making YouTube content. And these are the effects. Now, pay attention to this list. This is the order that you want to have your filters in if you add all of these. And then if you take any out. I'm not an audio professor or an engineer, but I know some. And this is the order that was recommended to me by professionals. So, if you go into the source, the gate right here is an external VST plugin. So this is from Reaper. You can download these for free. Just look up Reaper plugins on Google, and you should be able to find a link. Very easy to add to your scenes and to your stream and your OBS. Open it up here, and it's going to bring you to the screen. Now, if I don't talk, it eliminates all the noise. Now, if I lower this bar to the left, you're going to see the room noise. Do you see that pile right down here? So if you're setting a noise gate and you want to get rid of room noise, you can see where it's peaking out. It's like somewhere between 48 and 42. So you go back to the slider, and you slide it up till that goes away. And right about there is good. And even my quiet talking is well above the mark that I have. So I got negative 33.6 decibels right here, as you can see. Very easy to use once you understand what you're looking at. I wouldn't worry about this stuff in the center so much. As you leave, for starters, just leave that default. Go over here, use the slider and your eyes. You should be good to go. Next, let's talk about the EQ. The EQ is amazing, but some microphones come with external programs such as the Elgato, and there's plenty of other ones out there. But if you don't have an EQ, I do recommend it. This is a broad setting that works best for my microphone. You might want to toy with this. Well, let's open up. This is another Reaper plugin that you can add on. And these source pins right here that you see, I added one. It starts with 4 or 5. I think it starts with 4 actually. And you can add more by simply right here, add band, and it'll give you another thing to toy with. So this area right here sounds kind of howled or like to me when I talk. So I like to take that out where the number 3 is. So that's me pulling out all the frequencies that kind of give that sound that I don't like. And I give a little bit of a crispiness right here to bring a little bit of those highs in there. But mostly this is a very bassy mic. As you can see, it registers right here. But that's good for broadcasting. This is a dynamic mic. If you had a condenser microphone on here, this would be completely different. It would look a lot different. It'd probably have more air noise and a lot more high end. So this is something you got to do by ear. Take a little recording, check the recording until you realize what makes the most sense with your voice. And everybody's settings here is going to be different. Now let's talk about the compressor. The compressor is extremely important to balancing out your voice. If you talk a little bit quieter, if you get a little bit louder and get intense, and especially if you yell, it can kind of squeeze down. I use a very, very strong compressor. Now this is the built-in OBS Studio one. Slobs has the same thing. 13-to-1. So if you put this to default, it's 10-to-1, I believe. So 13-to-1 is what I said. It's very strong. The attack is very quick. Release is pretty quick. Output, I had to add a lot of output gain because I put so much compression on it. You're going to notice if you set your ratio higher, if you have it set 10 or higher, you're going to notice that your overall volume drops right down here. We're going to talk about the mixer levels here in a second too. So that is what I have for my compressor. This is just kind of all around. If you put it on default, you'll probably be good to go. But you might want to toy with it a little bit depending on your own situation. Okay, now let's talk about the limiter real quick. This is what keeps me from exploding your ears completely. So as you can see, I only have it to -1 dB. -1 or 2 is all you really want to do. If you start pushing this too low, you're going to get this distorted sound at the top of your voice. And that's not good. And you always want to keep, 60 milliseconds of release is perfect. You don't have to worry about that too much. But let's look at the mixer line here as I'm talking so you guys can get a good idea of reference points on your mixer too. This will kind of give the whole audio a quick little shake. So if you notice that there's a bar length right here that's popping up while I'm talking to you, this is extremely important to pay attention to because you do not want this going anywhere past where you see I got it going. Right now it's floating roughly around the -6 range right here, which is very, very top end, very loud voice on streams. You'll notice some people are very quiet. A lot of times they'll pull their mic back and they'll be right down here. As you notice, you can hear the audio dropping as I'm doing this. And then you'll be sitting right here. You can go quieter. There's nothing wrong with that, but you got to make sure you balance out all your other audio, so that's not a problem. But I like to have it, like I said, just kind of getting into that -6 range as the general. Check, right there. Put it on full on, and then it sits right where I want it. Let's take a real quick spin on something here. If you ever want to check your voice while you're checking audio, go into here. Go into advanced audio properties. This is going to give you a rundown. Whatever scene you are on, it gives you all your sources right here. So here's my mixer. If I go into here, I can set monitor only, and this will go right to my ears, and I can do monitor and output, and I can get rid of my desktop audio as a reference as well. It's always an option. All right, let's get green screen on this, and I'll show you guys a crash course on green screen. I'm just going to make this quick and easy, but you're going to have to futz with this. This is not as simple as just going in. Go into your next to go cam, right click on it, filters. It's always right click to filters. Remember that. It's something you got to remember. It filters. Okay, here we are in here. Okay, it shows you this right here, but you know that your source has cut this already, so don't worry if this shows up. What you're looking for is the area that the people are going to see on your capture. Okay? There's the color correction. Here we go to add a source. Now this is what we're looking for, chroma key. You click it, you go, okay. Look at that, I'm done, right? Perfect. No, I'm not perfect. Look around my head. You see all this grainy kind of junk going on? I got this weird stain on my head. I don't know what that's from. That's fun to be on video and just see that now. But anyway, you can kind of see that there's a little bit of artifacting or noise going on right here. This is how we fix that. You're going to go into similarity, okay? You're going to shift this around, and you can go back and forth. Now look at this. If I didn't have this properly lit, you would see my green screen just a little bit. Now when I get over, this is what you want to start with, the top bar here. Slide it till you don't see your green screen anymore. Don't worry about yourself yet. Make sure that it's gone and out of the way. Okay. Now I got a bunch of noise around me, right? And we go to the next thing, smoothness. You're going to go to the left. See it back off? Go way over, I disappear. Pull it to the left, I get nice and tight here. Okay, there's still a little bit of noise around my head. Now this is the other thing, the key color spill reduction. Pull it to the left, pull it to the right. You want to make yourself look black and white for some reason? Now I'm slightly colorblind, so I always end up making myself look more green than I want to. But I kind of remember the color of my hat a little bit. It's somewhere around there. See, I kind of look human again. Maybe I'm a little green. But like I said, colorblind. This makes it hell. But you can kind of see that I got a little bit of artifacting kind of going around. Now let's see if we pull back the green similarity. If we can get away from it just a little bit. You can smooth out those edges. Okay? So that's not too bad. Especially when you have a smaller source. Now watch, you go to close. And look at that. I'm right over the screen. No one's going to really see it. It's fairly clean. Not too bad. And very easy to use. Now here's another little quick tip. Here's the extra credit if you guys watch this video so far. If you hold shift and you grab your sources, any sources, you can do whatever you want. So if you make a video and you come in the stream and be like, whoa! You can get all funky with it. All right, guys. That's green screen. Crash course on green screen. Look, guys, I hope this video helped you out. I hope it gave you some insight on little simple tips and tricks for using OBS. These are things that I use. I didn't go into hotkeys yet. I feel like that might be a subject that we could go through, but maybe I'll save it for another day because hotkeys can get a little bit complicated, and if you're going with a stream deck, then it's kind of irrelevant anyway. I do recommend if you have a lot of sources and a lot of things that happen on your stream, you do go with a stream deck. I actually don't use a stream deck yet, but I don't have that many sources. I only have like 10 different things that I kind of pop around on. But if you have like, 15 or 20, well, then you might want a stream deck. If you guys like the video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. That way you can keep up with my weekly content, making us all better streamers. These are videos that come from my own experiences as I stream, as I learn things. I pass it on to you. We'll see you next week. Real quick, I want to talk about today's sponsor. We're talking about Rad Music Studios. If you go to rad-audio.com, you can get your hands on the new copyright-free music library of Rad. That's right. Cinema music, if you need epic backgrounds. We got horror music, if you need horror music for that time of year, or maybe if you're a horror streamer, whatever content creation you have going on, we have something for you. Stuff for your backgrounds, for your just chatting sections, and even metal music that I help co-write. That's right. Check out Rad Music Studios. Now available wherever you get your music for streaming.